bound. Men with heads and ankles bound. Men with heads and ankles bound. Men with heads and ankles bound. And we follow her out of the house, then pull it back, widen the shot, lose her inside of the crowd, then go back. Believe the sound and to carry it out. The last act, credits will pass the crowd, and now bring the house light back.
You were working, I was dazed in the kitchen, tracing circles slowly with the tang of the fan blades. And I left from our apartment to the corner, took a right. I saw shadows in the darkness casted, intermittent in the flashing light of traffic signals blinking somehow backwards in my eyes. I saw a stranger in the glass reflected. No one knew me, but it can't be mine. The Bible tells revelations past, sudden visitations come, the prophets stumbling on the path, and a flash of light, alive, the night arrives, a voice from out of time proclaims, Saul on the road to Damascus, the vision in the brightness struck him blind, and so he changed his name. Mine was no man, I was nothing, going nowhere, I was gone, I was naked, I was vacant buildings, I was blending with the blight, I was a ghost like I was hopeless for no reason, said a prayer, let some Holy Spirit moment come and forcing me to change. A camera on the capture on a traffic signal light, and a flash on the path to Damascus, and a change in the soul went blind. I had vision in the city every day, despite it all, what I saw, my sight remained.
And the prophets in town all go on back and forward, nowhere directionless, and their blankets bending down, shining straight out with blinded eyes, but sight to look around now to see and to notice them, to see the smoke cloud climbing high, and in the night sky find it, an image where the light shines, make a sign from up above, to see the tent now burning bright, and to hear it crying out, the voice of Christ at night, when he stumbled all alone and burned alive, under the street lights when he died, only traffic signal cameras to watch his life extinguished, glowing white down.
The corner by the bus stop, dead. A woman on the sidewalk, Narcan back to life. She rose again, walked away, and the paramedics came. Resurrected by a stranger, she disappeared. On Easter I was there.
When they pulled into the turnaround, I was standing glowing red at emergency. Looked in every window trying to find you inside. Divine design, glowing in the hallways at the hospital at night. I can see it now, the place where I headed since I left. Always hear you, I found the shade.
heavy load, the weight of love, tongue of flames, a welcome flood, beating heart, and us the blood, a beating heart, a beating heart, a tongue of flames, a light above, a voice of God, a smoking gun, a beating heart, 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 a beaten dog, snarling teeth, face of God, a light above, a beating heart, and us the blood, and all of us, a beating heart. Run through the neighbor's yard, over Brook and Billenthal Street, cut the corner to the break in the trees, heading where the light sinks into the dark. To take the hidden path that leads to the creek and the embankment where they'd sunbathe asleep. You can see it where the light bleeds back and ahead. Approaching with your knees bent down, keeping close to the slope, crouched low under the cover of reeds. You'd sneak and reach your hand behind, try to grab on the tail, hold it up in the air high, feeling it writhe, feeling it panic, trying to twist from your hand clenched tight in a fist, as if trying to swim, swiping its claws toward the ground, but finding nothing underneath it could reach, to break free into the water below, where you knew you should never get close. How told since birth, vaguely poisoned throughout it all, the only history you really knew about, not how gypsum spilling outward gave a name to the creek, or how mining it dug tunnels beneath every street in the neighborhood. The ones who took to get to the woods, you knew their names, not where they came from or meant. All those dead men, fading languages left, last vestiges above intersect to the river where the creek went, where 2 centuries back they came prophesied to settle the land. Took the rapids out with the dams put down to float timber to the factories on the banks of the Grand, to build homes before they made furniture, and others came to live and worship, started a church to raise families, and their families started ones of their own. Where it goes, backwards home, to where you're staring at the water below. What would happen if you fell down the slope? If you drowned, where would your body wash out? Would it carry all the way to Lake Michigan? And if you didn't, would the poison inside from the river kill you later in life? In the kitchen with your wife and your kids, eating dinner when your body gives in, and again sitting with your family in church. Would it matter anyway if it did? If it's true what the sermon said, in heaven there's a ledger and you're there circled twice on a line in the back, does it matter then? If he never draw a line through your name when you found that magazine in the woods, why the shame flooding in when they asked if it felt good to look at it did, and you blink and you're back but you're no longer a king. You're at church to say goodbye to a friend who, like you, was circled twice on the line, and you took his own life. If you give in to the poison inside, could they deny you when you try to get in? At the water again, you swing your hands above the grave, reach to find the ground, there's only air underneath, and you understand the lack of control when you look upward from the water below. To know whatever held you up let you go, and you fell, and that there's only one direction the water flows. There's only one direction the water flows, it only goes forward. 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 There's only one direction we go, and we can only go forward every day, to the end where we began, to the darkness of the head. It's everything that happens in life will never happen again, and you spend
moment passing is another one you'll never get back, and you can only get older. Older. Older.
Man turns the lathe on the blade, sharp the grade angle down. Carves away at the grain where the hand holds the blade, spins around and falls soundless to the ground. And what it takes gets swept up at the end of every day, gets thrown into the stove to burn away. Turns to flames first to burst, bright to smoke, climbs to fade, makes the steel glow with warmth. Gave to hands, touch the face, and what remains becomes an arm, becomes a leg, and when assembled at the end becomes a chair for you to sit. Became the railing on the staircase at the first place where we kissed. Became the roof, became the bed frame in our room. Became the house where we first lived, and we became what we became, what we need here just to breathe. Everything in me spinning on the lathe against the blade. Turn me into shape, carve it all away, throw it in the flames, turn it into heat, let it keep us warm, at least in me. Let me be the legs, let me hold you up, let me never break. Watch the past fall away, all our lives against the blade, because the time goes and we change, not what we made, but what can be. Come with me to cut the yard, go where the dark flames turn the crane, through the reeds. Will you please do it just for once, do it just for me? Let me sleep in the sun, let me feel you reach. Hold me out, keep me up above now, let the time break. Come and lie here with me as the train, before we go, before we must fall in it with me. To the rush, into the light, let it wash us all away. Become the wave, become the air, because we breathe, because our lives go only forward and we die.
Looking back, are there any things that you wished that you could have gotten accomplished that maybe just didn't get done?
I knew I had done my best. I can live with it because I've lived in it all of my life. I was born in it. So I've learned how to live with it.
She said it just seems strange to do everything except the things you say that you wanna do. I'm not trying to sound mean. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Do you still want things? I drew myself backwards at night in our room. Started with the parts of the day reversed. First this afternoon, man in sunlight, doing dishes. We were both pretty high that night. The TV played stage a show again we'd already seen. She was on the floor, peeling an orange. I felt along the crack down in the back of my teeth. Is it a new one? Are you still having fun? Are you feeling fulfilled? I don't mean to sound harsh. Do you know who you are? I drew myself backwards at night in our room. Further to pass by the week as I went 5 or 6 ago. Self-portrait holding dental bill. Pin them all on the wall in the garden I didn't plant. April. Unknown figure silhouetted by a phone screen light last fall. Color study, black and blue, age 32. Abstractions, me and you. Ongoing series in the highway at night, 29. Still life with red wine and Vicodin, 2013. Smiling kid with stitched face, age 11. Color study, shades of white, 1987. Exhibition, work in progress, incomplete. And you get to the end of what, 15 seasons of something? Since it always seems like too much work to find something new to watch, you just start it over again. And because it's changed so much over time, it feels like a different show going all the way back. And how could you not have noticed? But you watch through again and it starts to make sense how, because all the things it did were so small, so gradual, you never realized it was changing. By boredom from the deer blind, followed older brother's footsteps through the thick brush in behind him, slow approaching where the forest broke. Saw him standing at the tree line, hunter orange distorted in the boughs of pines between us and the woods. Where I stood now in my hand-me-downs in the cold, same ones my uncle wore, and that framed page from the press. Both of them up north above Dad's desk. A couple years after their father's death, his brother left. Stood and watched him scan the open field with his rifle scope. About a mile deep, twice as wide at least, where we could see military netting draped across the canopy of trees. Tried to keep up where he walked on. There appeared to be some compound on the far side of the clear cut. We knew the rumors of militia grounds in the north heard on our radios. Locals poaching does, talking voices down by the bait piles on the ridge. And father waited patient, eyeing deer sign from his blind by the lake, and I on the other side of it kept on walking through the field to find my brother standing posed with his gaze locked in the ground down in a pit. Scattered with carcasses, skin on their bones dried, skulls sawed for the antlers of the dead, like some portal to nowhere now, for forever in no time I watched. Translate with the vultures overhead, heard his boots in the grass again, the fading of footsteps away, knew he was walking off to the compound of ahead, and I knew I had to break from the trance, follow fast in that direction, or I'd never find a way to close the gap. But if I stared down and the corpses there transfixed, he would go that way forever, and I would stay here staring downward, and I did. liking you to be celebrated. Try to pull the time behind you, forward bends and breaks you. And the early morning stopped by the ever-ticking clock. Not the clicking when the hands move, but the absence of a sound in between. Undo, unsettled, uneasy. Can you feel it? It's the opposite of peace. Unsafe, unconnected, unprotected. Understand it's the plan and it's something, but it's nothing if you never let it go. And your kids are getting older now, and you're getting old, and your friends have all come over, and your kids are drinking. They're celebrating life with you, almost everybody's there. And your kids are drinking, and your kids are drunk.
Siblings on the stairs, drunk and fighting while your parents try to understand the role they played in getting there. And she's standing on the landing and her head is in her hands while her children shout and try to push each other down. Do you understand it now? It's that tension underneath from the absence in between. Another current tunneled into nothing in besides. It's life, it's fine, it's life, it's fine, it's life, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's life, it's fine, it's fine. It's the unsettled beneath that keeps us down.
In the background all around, over every moment now. What we've left and what we lack, all you can do is drown it out. Unrelenting, unforgiving, unimpeded when it's peaceful. Don't you feel it pulling back? Now the clock continues ticking, and the aching never fades. There's no option to rewind it back, to break or change it. The sea between each beat, the love you gave, unafraid and unashamed, unabated by the weight, unbelievable to be. And your kids have gotten older now, they've got children of their own. Your whole family's coming over, it's a birthday party. And they pull up in the driveway, and you're standing on the porch. When your crickets see you waiting, they come running.
And we stumble to the end. It's the effort we put in to see how difficult it is to just exist and to survive. There's beauty and there's anguish tangled helplessly inside. What a miracle it is we get to be alive. Do you recognize it now? It's a fucking complicated thing, joint grave and in between. A universal burden over all of us from birth until we die. It's a struggle and we stumble, and the best that we can ever do is try.
That's life, that's life. We love and we rely on the beauty we can find to make it through. That's life. We give a purpose to what's left before we die. And we die because it's life. And we fall short all the time, while the clock keeps ticking on. We're behind. The absence never leaves us, but it's fine. It's just life. It's just life.
The rich man in the parable taught by Jesus that not one drop of water may be placed upon his tongue. That request could not be granted. That thirst will never be quenched. Give me thy heart, the spirit divine. All that thou hast to my keeping design. Grace more abounding in my infinite tongue. Make full surrender, and give me thy heart.
They came back into your work again. time you spent in ours and in mine, and you drifted far away from us in time, out of mind, out of sight. What else is there to say now but goodbye? And the last time I saw you, after years we spent apart, you came to my apartment just to talk, dressed in a suit. Said your life had gotten better. Even then I wasn't sure it was the truth. And Danny called to tell me I didn't know how you had been, about the benchmarks you'd met in your life, the counterweights to tip, keep equal weight on either side, the anguish of existing unrequested and the joy to be alive. And I know now the truth, that a lie is one too, that some things unsaid really aren't in the end. Chief of my regrets, when he told me how you died, I'm ashamed I felt surprised.
By your own hand, that night fired once and survived, and then somehow again I saw Calvary behind you in the light. Scattered your reflection in the doctrine, and I almost believe we would enter into lesson when we die. Carried by the you and the I is the two left, despite how hard we tried. Both our names circled twice, you and I with that our sure triumphant in the heaven and the light. And you reach to find the bride, nothing there to pull, to be pulled back with grace from the way you tell to bring yourself relief. Backwards, forwards on the ice, circles spinning helpless at the edge. There again, you and I, what else is there to say now but goodbye? On the ridge there's a camera and a DP framing the shot of a hillside at twilight and a country club on top. In the foreground there's a paved road lit by the black car splitting the night. Tunneled headlights burned in the darkness. Move the camera to the banquet hall where they all arrive in turn. Give their coats to a man at the door. They come for a dinner planned in their honor. All here, top sellers from the year on the list. On the far side, by a glass wall, at a table the executives sit. They watch people coming in on a pilgrimage. There's a slow pan, pull the camera back.
Let it linger hanging over the room. Let the viewer feel the heat of the light on the screen coming through.
And they're all in awe of it here, standing with the pyramid tip above. Shift the focus on each entering guest, like some television wedding event. They come in to the hall and almost kneel on the ground, in suits and jewels and diamond ball gowns. Praise Jesus for the gospel and more, for the kingdom of eternal reward. And the camera tilts.
An announcement made, a welcome thanks. Your seats please and we'll start. It's good to see you, to meet you, to celebrate the year that we've had. They'll serve dinner soon. Enjoy your drinks, the ensemble starts to play. Move the camera now from the hallway out. Shoot the dancers from the back of the line, one by one. Going into the room, keep the camera close, follow behind. Floating weightless between tables, we change focus, crossing paths. All the guests hold their phones out. No one notices the flash all around. Pass through glass and showed the hillside glowing white right before there was sound.
That's only relatively true. But one thing is sure, we must die. And if you will just turn to your last page of the banner this week, you will find a series of articles by Arnold Brink on that subject. You must die. I must die. In view of that, where will you place your energy? Where will you set your ambition? Where will be your goal? How will your aim be determined? What will be your seeking?
And a hush fell
See,
all around
easily answered.
in the room, gone pitch black for the glow of their phones
Shelter and clothing.
in their hands,
So we were
and they wondered had the power gone out. They couldn't hear anything in the dark that surrounded them. Not a sound made, nothing came out, and they opened their mouths. You could sense how they felt, and the expressions revealed by the screen.
who are absorbed in the will and in the pleasure of God. These things shall be added unto you. Someone says that I don't have to work anymore. Who said that? Not me, sir.
It was a dancer they discovered first, between tables in the hall near the center, frozen in her pose mid-jump, suspended in the air.
Not separate you anything.
In the corner, all the players in their chairs with their bows mid-stroke, and the servers too, scattered like a statuary in a garden or a tomb, motionless each of them, except for the guests, and the executives still seated at their table at the front end of the room.
That is also spoken of by Paul. Spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all.
Then from the ceiling came a tunnel of light, settled downward on the dancer in the air, still floating with her legs outstretched in a leap above them. They saw her fingers moving first, then her eyes blinking softly in the brightness, and the guests stood dumbstruck, watching in awe her return as if unthawing back to life, floated slowly, going weightlessly up through the chandeliers above, through the roof beams, then out, disappearing through the ceiling in the night. Downward on a dancer by the hall door, and another one fell downward on a cellist in his chair, and another on a server, and another on a valet, on another dancer, and they all begin rising skyward, and the camera starts to rise skyward with them, where its lens fixed downward at the room shows guests in horror pull out their hair, and the head table in the center carries on, eating and drinking and talking as if entirely unfazed, and the camera rises through the ceiling, and the shot widens as it climbs, and we see in all directions long beams everywhere to the ground, where bodies inside smile at music only they can hear, at 1,000 voices singing in their ears, at the warmth of the light on their skin, and on the ground people weep, gnash their teeth, burn their belongings, and we see everything around rising upward, until the camera goes gray in the clouds, until the camera goes gray in the clouds, until the camera goes black, until the film cuts, until it ends without credits, and there's nobody left to see.
That is the great purpose. All God do. And as we work the work of God, the work of faith, as we seek the kingdom and His righteousness, we're also going to be faithful in our daily labors. We're going to use our time. We're going to budget our money. We're going to be careful in spending. We're going to be wise in investing. And He will regulate these things. For the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. Amen. Our God, we thank Thee for all the mercies bestowed upon us, for Thy word and Thy spirit, for Thy power of grace, and for Thy love as it speaks to us. May we never cease seeking Thy kingdom. seeking thy righteousness. May we wait on thee day by day to receive at thy hand food and drink and clothing and shelter and all things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Flash above you fading, the end of days arrived and went, left you unselected, tethered down, promise kept denied, resurrecting angels high above would save from drowning, a saturation diver, ankles tangled, helpless in a line. And you wonder, will your dead self show the years you spent avoiding and dissociating, sliding down the slope? Were you pressured and extorted? Was it some force beyond control, or you alone? TV muted plays, disaster films inside an empty home. Two brothers standing in a wide shot, staring downward in the snow. At the mercy of the current, body turns underwater, swallows all of it. Tumble in the flow, frames flicker, glowing backwards as you go. Every moment past projected in the hidden tunnels home. There's the basement of your parents, your siblings on the staircase, the ice sheets on the pavement where you drifting sideways crashed into the snow. To you they're shaving. When the mirror showed a stranger, you felt sure he looked familiar. Now you wake on the embankment all alone. Close-up focused on a woman's face, awake late on her phone. Things that everybody knows, muted TV plays, disaster films, but nobody's at home. Life eternal in repose, body floating in the creek below, through fires burning in the snow. All things that everybody knows, all life eternal in repose. The way the bodies started glowing all around you, floating upward on the ground below. No beam of light to take you home.
If there was anything that you had to do over again, is something you would change, something you do differently?
I don't think so. I think about my whole life that way. When I look back over my life, I don't think there's anything I would change. I think with the knowledge I had at the time that I did things and made decisions, and I'm sure that when we get to later on, you review what you've done, and that's always easy to say, then I would have done something different. But I don't think I would. I think that I did the best I could with the knowledge I had at the time I did it, and I think that's. I think I live with that. I'm never going to look back and say I should have done this, I should have done that. That's too easy to do.
Sacrifice, still the breeze, lay down in the heat and breathe out. Dishes in the sink, garden overgrown with weeds. Everything in me now, anything to keep you near, anything to keep you standing in the door, don't leave. Down every window, penitently we've grown weak. Heavy summer heat, stagnant with your unmet needs. Please come back, sweetheart, please, I need this. Please don't leave, you said you're mine. You said it's all fine, said it's my fault. I believed it every time you said take the time to learn and put the extra work in first. Keep promises you made, change how you behave, and everything you said reversed. All the things you did went backwards, planted seeds there, never acted. Once they bloom, now they grow downward in the dirt entombed. How else is there to say that last night when I slept I dreamt about a room standing in the light and everyone was there but you. And honestly, I love you, but it felt so good. Everyone was laughing, everyone at least passed through. Everyone we know, and not a single one remembered you anymore, or any time before. The members of your family too. Everyone you love forgot or never met you. And I dreamt about it too. Walking down the hall, came upon a door, open to a room where you and all my friends were standing in the light. I tried to get inside, fumbled with the key and turned it, spun in circles through the glass. I saw their faces thrown back in laughter, and it rattled in my head. I woke up in the bed, I pulled you close to me and slept. And you're getting up to leave, I'm standing at the door, I'm staring at the creek, there's water underneath the floor. I'm an unresolved chord, a line left incomplete, a room without a key. I lost it, but you sing, I kick and I scream at the door. I'm a garden full of weeds, a dick left in the sink, a room without a breeze, the suffocating heat around me. In the ground now, thrown all backwards, upside down and inside out. Let me go, grow high the garden for you, up the wall to our window and through. In bed where I slept and I dreamt of a room with my friends. I could not get in, stronger in the stand now. Let me go, crawl down that hallway again, climb at the end to the glass on the door, to see you and my friends, to let me see the room, to let me then bloom. Please let the flowers open up before I'm through. There's a car on the road, cutting blackness into house where it goes. Can you see? Through the forest, headlights tunnel alone. See the shoulder, see the ash in the trees. See no sleepless creatures standing beside. No reflection from an eye thrown back. There's no night here less nocturnal than this, or more black. Just the car along the slope of the road, and the camera above, all watching over, followed behind it, downward with love, where the low beams reach and then die. Nothing beyond it, no sense of the direction it leads, or the bends the road will take on the way, and every road bends, no matter what. You can see us where the camera moves in, you and I in the back, where I'm leaning over trying to see past the headrest of whoever's in front of me. I can see an overpass approaching
where I might finally see. I wait there for the glow to reflect, for the light to connect, with the rear view passing under the bridge, and in the moment find you sleeping on my shoulder again. You're so peaceful I forget the fear that I felt, but the dark up ahead, the things we don't know about who is or isn't driving the car, in the direction we all go, with the thread of a bend, because there's always a bend in the road, and the light in ash will fade, the night will soon enfold us, let it enfold us as we grow onward. Even time itself grows old, and we do too. We only grow forward, let's just do it slower. Just add to the sum of the world as we go, hour by hour by hour by hour.
Born to suffer, those above them sought to prosper, saw creation, saw improvements to be made, pure products, mined and offered, empty promise. To relieve them from their suffering, made them suffer worse instead, on to hunger, now to hunger unto filth, left them filthy into trenches, bent in penitence for what? Station born to them, with more for them to bear by far, believing help would come, someone above to drive the car. Born to suffer, planted gardens. Those above created ash into the ground, onto cherry and viburnum, sent it downward to obscure them from the sun. They in the process magnify. Fire burned to death, water died of thirst, the earth interred itself inside itself, the wings of birds reversed, the deer went backwards through the goldenrod, the camera holding frame for us, no one there to witness or adjust. Did we get what we wanted? Did we get what we deserve? Will God forgive us? Will God forgive us? Do we get another chance? Do we get another chance? Do we get another chance? Succumb to heat, succumb to power. Born to suffer, plant a garden, flowers grow.
And when I see what I see today, it's very, very frustrating to me. Disturbing. And there's no wonder that our society is as it is today in our nation. And yet, you know that people unless they change and become concerned about one another. And that's the disturbing thing. Here we are, the richest nation perhaps in the world. And yet, we're the poorest. And yet, as I think about all of that, I look at my grandkids and I look at other people's children, and I wonder what kind of tomorrow they really will have.
Yo, welcome to the Hardcore Punk YouTube channel. Shut the fuck up, Morty. Stage dive.